Back now to Airways Park in Campton Park here in Gauteng. That's where we find eNCA's Heidi Jokos, who's standing by there following that media briefing. So a lot was said, Heidi, but the bottom line is there is no money in SAA, and basically whatever negotiations are taking place, they're taking place certainly on that basis in as far as management is concerned.
Most definitely, Tula. So, I mean, a lot came out of this press briefing held by SAA, basically just reiterating the fact that they do not have money or the capacity to give a salary increase of 8%. And also important to note is that they did meet with SAA, and SAA did meet with Public Enterprises Minister as well as the unions to further discuss negotiations, and they will be meeting with the unions later on this afternoon to see if they can come to some kind of agreement. But with me is the interim CFO, Deon Fredericks. Thanks so much for your time. I think you've been speaking for the past hour and a half, but maybe if you can just, give some clarity on the financial aspect. I think it's important to just speak to the issue of how much SAA has been losing because of the strike that has been going on. Initially, it was said that it's about 52 million per day, but of course you guys have got aircraft back in the air. Can you give us an estimate of what is going on and how much SAA has been losing because of the strike?
Yeah, no, thank you for the questions, and good afternoon to your listeners as well. What we've done is we planned for the worst case scenario. In a worst case scenario, it would be around 50 million rand. September is usually a lower month, so the amount would be less. The fact that we have our aircraft back in the air and we had certain areas that were not impacted means that the amount is significantly less. As you would appreciate that we have various outstations, and currently we busy doing the calculations to make sure that we be able to give a reliable number, but the number will definitely be not as high. Every day as we increase the number of flights, it will continue to come down.
Most definitely, and you guys are indicating that more people are coming back to work, more people have decided to not continue with the strike, and that of course has a significant impact on how you guys are managing your domestic flights, because you've indicated now that some of the domestic flights will be back in the air. If you can just give clarity on that, because it's caused a lot of panic for many passengers. You've got your international flights back in, some regional flights, but domestically things might seem a little bit unsettled still.
Yeah, no, and it's important. And why did we take the decision? The first decision was to make sure that we're able to manage and give the best service to our customers, because our customers are priority number one. International is back in the air. Some of the regional flights is coming back. The domestic flights, we were able to get our customers onto Mango, our sister airline, also onto SAAs. In certain cases, Airlink assists us as well in the regional. And as we've indicated, as more people coming back, we're bringing the schedule back. So we're comfortable that we're in a position to make sure that the inconvenience to customers will be limited going forward. And it's just unbelievable how the employees that's currently working actually came together in this crisis and make sure that we limit the exposure, but also the uncomfortableness for our customers.
And Mr. Fredericks, I just have two more questions, but you guys are set to meet with the union later this afternoon, but they're also giving out a notice of a possible secondary strike. Do you think that if you guys don't meet any kind of agreement this afternoon, that's going to have a significant impact on operations at SA, because they're going to bring in air chefs, they're going to bring in AXA, and they're going to bring in Mango cabin crew. How do you think talks are going to go this afternoon, and are you worried about a secondary strike?
Yeah, there's always a concern about the secondary strike. Ultimately, and I had actually discussion with some of the union leaders yesterday and indicated that we need to come together. We all need to come together and make sure that we conclude on the matter and take the company forward, because the brand will continue to be impacted if we don't do that. The secondary strike will have an impact on us. My understanding, it will be 7 days before they can implement the secondary strike, and we hope that we by that time can conclude on the matter. And it's critical that we all look at what's at stake at this. The future of the airline is at stake. And if we don't come together, unfortunately, there will not be an airline going forward.
And just lastly, this is unrelated to the strike that's going on, but SAA was supposed to submit its financials to SCOPA in Parliament on the 27th of September. You've missed that deadline. SCOPA seems to be very unhappy with the fact that that deadline has been missed. What is the plan? Are you guys going to meet the new deadline? Why is there such a delay in those financials?
Yeah, we have agreed with SCOPA that we will present a report to them on the 27th of November. As we've indicated at that sitting as well, for us it's important to try and get our going concern concluded. We're currently in discussions with our lenders. The lenders had in principle agreed to 2 billion. That is dependent on a guarantee from the shareholder. Because of the current performance as well as the impact of the strike, the additional working capital will be required, and we're also having those discussions. As soon as that's concluded, one will be able then to satisfy the liquidity part of the going concern, and then we'll be able to issue financial statements.
Thank you so much. Thank you for your time. Deon Fredericks, Interim CFO of SAA. Just speaking about the financial situation going on at SAA, it doesn't look like a very good one, but also important to note that SAA will be meeting with the unions later on this afternoon, and perhaps some kind of resolution will be met with the unions and the airline. Also important to note is that Public Enterprises Minister Pravin Gordhan's department has indicated they will be releasing a statement at 4:30 this afternoon, possibly with some kind of indication of what has happened in that meeting with the unions, SAA and his department. Tulas?
Yeah, absolutely, Heidi, and we continue to watch what will come from the Department of Public Enterprises in as far as one of these key state-owned enterprises is concerned. This, of course, being SAA. Live from Airways Park in Campton Park, that is eNCA's Heidi Jokos with